there's a way to make an entrance.
This is my destiny.
It was now a conspiracy of witches.
Download Veely today.
Stop.
I'm Morgan Brass, this is my wife, Abby. We've got a 10-year-old Joshua and 2-year-old Sophie. Josh, he's made us grow and learn and become so much better people than we could ever have been without him. Yeah, I mean, like, we're New Zealanders living in Australia, not being eligible for certain things, from standing frames to walking frames to wheelchairs. We've had to go and fight to find it, to find out where it was and how it was.
Yeah, shall we go get Josh? All right, ready? Say, Josh. Up, come on. Josh, get up. Come on, Josh. Come on, time to get up. Getting to know Josh, it's been a bit of an adventure. Get up, you need to go take care of your business. Come on, let's go, Josh.
Unless you've actually met Josh and you've seen him yourself, you can't know exactly what it is. He's just a certain person that you just...
He's an overconfident, stubborn, sassy little kid that's got a heart of gold.
Yeah.
That knows everything, of course.
And he gives everything a go. He's just... He loves life and loves accomplishing every goal he can sort of get to.
Josh oversees everything. He helps her with the toothpaste, races her with brushing bubbles. In the mornings when I'm rushing around getting myself ready and getting the day, like all our bags packed, Josh will help Sophie by getting her shoes and cleaning up. These two are best friends.
My mum, she's nice. She can be strict. She yells at me if I don't clean things up and all that. My dad is fun. My sister is funny, weird, and annoying.
You two, stop. Josh.
She's chasing me.
This is my mornings. Stop, no. Outside then. Go outside. Okay, out. Let's go. Come on, children, let's go. Life. It's really busy. He was 8 when I had her. So we made sure he was independent before we fell pregnant with the second. All right, children. Eat up.
I already am.
Faster.
I am.
We met in our hometown in Oamaru, New Zealand, when we were 17 and 18 years of age, and we've been together ever since. How long have we been married? I always get this wrong.
9 years. 2010.
Yeah.
So I was just working at McDonald's. Morgan was an apprentice watchmaker.
I wasn't.
Sorry, he was a qualified watchmaker?
No.
What were you doing?
I was working at the flour mill.
Oh my gosh, same.
There we go.
I've been with you for too long. It was Morgan's idea to move over to Aussie. He said, look, I'm leaving, I'm booking tickets. You're either gonna come with me or you're not. Well, I was in love, so I followed him. And it's been the best decision that we could have ever made.
No, not that one. Another one. Another one. Another one. No, another one.
I was not really a maternal sort of person. I had no motherly bone in my body. And then all of a sudden, it just clicked. And I said to Morgan, we're having a baby. And he just looked at me, he's like, you've got to be kidding.
It changes immensely. Like, you look at the world differently and you treat everything and everything about life differently, I guess.
I remember saying to him, because he goes, oh, I don't know if I'm ready to be a dad yet. And I'm like, it's too late, mate. We were super happy we were pregnant. And we had our first scan that came back cool. We had our second scan that came back great. Then it got to our 24-week scan and the lady comes in and she starts examining my belly. And she doesn't say anything. It was just dead silence for ages. And
you could tell
nothing.
something wasn't right with her, like it wasn't a normal scan that she was looking at.
And I was sick of it. I was like, so what's going on? You haven't told us anything. They're like, well, I can tell you a couple of things. First one, your child's got spina bifida. What does this mean? You know, like I had never heard of spina bifida. We didn't know what to do. He was born with his legs up around his shoulders, and his feet were just...
They were literally just around like this, and the lowest part of his body was nearly his bum.
They rushed him to go get MRIs, CTs, X-rays.
It wasn't spina bifida, which is relatively common in a way. But what Josh has got is a lot rarer, and it's...
1 in 25,000.
Yeah.
Sacral agenesis / caudal regression syndrome. That's his diagnosis. He's got severely dislocated hips. He's got no kneecaps, severely clubfoot. He's missing several vertebrae in his back, and there's several malformed butterfly hemivertebrae. He's got an extra pair of ribs on the bottom. After the shock kind of set in, this baby needed to be fed, needed to be changed. We needed to just keep going. Josh, let's go do some stretches. I went to Centrelink and I asked for a healthcare card. And they said no. Because Josh is born here to New Zealand parents, he's a citizen of New Zealand by descent. If you check it out on the immigration website, you're not entitled to any help for disability.
It's very hard when you don't know where to go or what to do as well.
Sit down. No, I'd rather sit here, Zoe.
You can sit down too, Josh.
My cushion.
We really had no idea at what the expenses would be or what that entailed.
Things like AFOs. AFOs are ankle foot orthotics. They help support his ankles and heels. They cost $1,100.
It's right there. It's right there.
Shh, no more.
Okay.
Please. And I added up everything that we need, and it came to $140,000.
Not being eligible for certain things, we've had to go and fight to find it, find out where it was and how it was.
Skin breakdown before.
I don't know, but I'm just like looking at your toe. Like if the colour doesn't come back, then you could get pressure sores. So we were told we weren't allowed any more hospital physio once he turned 1. So I then took it upon myself to become his physio. So one has got more flexion, as you can tell, than the other. He was born with no kneecaps. And he's got the most killer thigh abduction. It's just, unfortunately, he can't walk like a traditional child. It's just one of those things. Hey, Josh, nice kicking.
You're smacking my foot.
All right, so this is what I would do 3 times a day. I just thought, you know what? Sounds like a fun game. My theory is, you know, they're all about encouraging baby massage.
No. Yeah. Well,
Why not?
So
Or couldn't hurt.
So we sit on boots.
That's like scratching. Don't scratch, mate.
Yeah, you scratch.
Logically, he shouldn't have any feeling from his shoulders down, but he's regained all feeling down to his ankles. So another thing we used to do when he was a baby was I would say, all right, Josh, which foot am I touching? Which foot am I touching? Raise it.
This hand. This foot.
All right, Sophie, your turn. Touch foot.
This foot.
Yeah, there we go. When he was about 3, he started showing crazy signs of being incredibly strong. I walked into the living room one day and here he was on the coffee table doing a handstand. It just kind of dawned on me, like, you need to go to personal training or something to, like, look after those little muscles. Dip. Keep going. 10, go. So what encouraged walking with Josh was that we managed to borrow some parallel bars. He didn't really use them for walking, he used them as a gymnast. I want you to walk to the tub. Let's go. Sophie, get off your brother.
Get off. I can do it.
Okay, watch. You gotta stand.
Yeah. Show me your thing. Well, that's Mum's. So up to where?
Over to that and back.
1, 2, 3.
All right. Not so wide.
She says spider.
Touch. Turn around.
Doesn't get you, Zoe.
Bring your belly in.
Nah.
Sophie, Josh wants some tickles.
No.
Stop up then. Sophie, do you know what time it is? Tickle time. Go. Say no. You're gonna challenge yourself by going over top of that.
Done.
So I take the approach where I don't move things. I make him go around or over top of things.
Did it.
All right, now pick them up and stack them up nicely. Let's go, Sophie. Yeah,
we can.
because it's business time. Let's go.
11:30. That's what, like, after playtime.
No, you can do it now.
But I'll make it just...
Stop talking about it. Just go take care of your business. Let's go. So when he was born, trying to come to terms with his disability was very, very hard. It took me a good 2 years to try and process. It's kind of like a grieving process. First you're sad, and then you're angry, and then depressed, and I was crying lots and just embarrassed. I know it sounds really terrible, but when I first took him out in public, and the amount of stares he got was crazy because his legs were so deformed. And I became quite defensive, a little bit aggressive even, just like, what are you staring at? Stop staring.
And then as Josh got older and he was in his wheelchair, people would stare at him as being a little 3-year-old, 4-year-old in a wheelchair. Everyone would be looking, seeing what the little kid was up to and what he was doing. And we kept telling them, if they want to look, give them something to look at.
Morgan actually was on the internet and he was watching YouTube videos and he came across Aaron Wheels Fotheringham, and he is like the founder of WCMX, which is wheelchair motocross, so that's going to the skate park in your wheelchair. Morgan goes to Josh, Josh, come look at this. So Josh sits down
And he watched it 4 times in a row. The first time, just wanted to restart it and watch it again and again. And
yeah, and we looked at each other and we're like, Josh, do you want to give this a go? And he's, yeah. So that literally the next day, we went to a motorbike shop.
Went to the motorbike shop, bought himself a full-face motorbike helmet and went to the skate park. And it was raining, but he didn't want to stop. He wanted to get out of the car and put the helmet on and go for it. And he did.
Go downstairs, or I can do a fakie where you go up one, but then you just go back down and do a spin. One time when I did that, I did it and I was spinning on one wheel. I was spinning real fast. I thought I was gonna fall over, but then I landed.
And then as he's got a bit older and a bit stronger, he's into all sports. We give him every option and open it up to him, and if he likes it, he continues with it. And if not, we put it on the wayside and he moves on to another thing that he likes the look of and he's happy to do.
And everything he tries, he excels at, which is really good, but really frustrating because I don't want to say no. There's only so many hours in a day.
In my room, my medals, my trophies, my hats, my medals, they're all from a 5K, 10K marathons and triathlons, and some of them I get for surfing. Spartans like I have to do 2Ks of walking or like wheeling, and then an obstacle course, and then 2Ks wheeling, 2Ks wheeling, 2Ks obstacle course. I want to do basketball again though.
We didn't know how to parent, so Josh is educating us on how to parent, and which is brilliant because it's important just for everybody to be the best they can be, just to...
Yeah, live a healthy, independent lifestyle.
No, it's a bit of dishwasher.
He's 10 years old, but he unpacks the dishwasher, puts all the dishes away. He grabs the laundry baskets from the ensuite and takes them through, and he puts the washing where it's got to be. And he folds the washing.
The kind of chores I do are folding the laundry, feeding the cat, put my clothes in the correct drawers, basically clean the whole entire house. Then I can go on my electronics. My dad wears big clothes. Sometimes I have to fold all of them, and then giant towels and giant sheets and then all that stuff. I don't have a favourite chore. I all don't like them.
I push him. Some people frown upon how hard I may push him, but I push him as I would a regular kid that's 10. We're preparing him for life.
To move out of home by 18, I guess.
No, we want him to go to university.
We want him to be able to cook his meals and
have a part-time job, have kids, have a wife, not at home.
Yep.
Well, Dad, you said I'm gonna just go in my beach wheelchair.
Josh, just hold up. No, this is a beach wheelchair I've made for Josh. See, it's all come from the construction site at work. the leftover bits and pieces. Just so he can get around on the sand, it's a lot more easier and gives him independence as well. Yeah, own design, everything.
Own paint job. I chose the paint colour.
You chose it, but I painted it, didn't I?
The reason why Morgan made it is because they're worth thousands of dollars, and, you know, we couldn't justify it. So Morgan just jumped on Pinterest and Googled beach wheelchairs and came up with it.
There you go.
Ooh. It's been a while since I've been in this.
So Morgan likes to take Josh out to the beach and take him out on his little boogie board. So once a month we'd go to the beach. They love it. Josh loves playing in the sand and he loves getting up to like his elbows.
Okay, stop that.
It's okay, we're fighting.
Yeah, this is far enough.
It's really good for him and just to get out in the sun, and it's good as a family thing. As able-bodied people, you know, we're so lucky, you know? Like, we can access mountains and beaches and with no worries, but as soon as you take your legs away, geez, it's a whole nother ballgame. It's hard. So it's super important to be able to just access everyday things that we take for granted.
No, why is it away?
With all the equipment, it's very expensive, and when you get it, because Josh is small and he's growing, he grows out of it relatively quick as well. Like, some families can't afford to buy the wheelchair, so they sort of get a bigger chair, which isn't really appropriate. So with us, with all Josh's old equipment, we're trying to hand it down to other families that need it, and then they give it back to us, and then we find another family, we'll try and pass it on to them until they get the chair that they need. There's everything from standing frames to walking frames to wheelchairs to anything and everything. Everyone's got a shed full of old gear. So Abby's now working for a wheelchair manufacturer, so she's learning a lot of information of what they need or how they sit.
I'm packing up some chairs to take to a little boy to trial who needs a new chair, not quite yet, but in the near future. My job is sales manager of Queensland, Mogo Wheelchairs. I'm passionate about helping other people, you know, whether they're government funded, they're Kiwis or they're whatever, I don't care. I'll help them find ways to be able to fund their chair, whether it's through local community grants or just fundraising, we can make it happen. I'm really involved with Variety, the children's charity. We've been a recipient of a $5,000 scholarship for the last 2 years. So that's helped us so much. Lessons and, you know, just the small specialised stuff that you don't usually afford. So we're going to go to Tammy's house, and I met Tammy actually probably a good few years ago, I'd have to be, through a mutual friend at the Gold Coast Airport Marathon. She was there with her son, Cruz, and I went up and I introduced myself to her, as I do, and I actually found out her story. She's a Kiwi living over here. Cruz was born here, so she's not entitled to any help. You know, we'll go and we'll try some chairs out, see what ones suit. Some kids are quite reluctant to try stuff out, but Cruz is different. You'll see him, he'll be smiling from ear to ear.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Oh, you've got all the goodies.
I do.
Beep, beep. Beep, beep. Look at all these, Cruz. Would you like to try another chair?
Do you want to try one? Then try this one?
Would you like to try this one? Yes. Okay. Let's give it a go. Cruz is 6 years old. Cruz was born with like a rare genetic disorder called 2q37 deletion syndrome. There's only about 100 people recorded with that in the world. It affects speech, physical development, mental development. So when I went to ask for some assistance, they said that I wasn't able to get anything. So we didn't have access to Disability Services Queensland and no funding. There was sort of nothing, no government assistance whatsoever. It's been privately funded, so my poor husband has worked ridiculous hours since he was born just to keep up with medication, living in hospital, the parking, you know, just everything, equipment. Yeah, nothing is cheap, that's special needs, so yeah. Push, 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 push. Good boy. Do you like this one? You do. Looks comfy.
So every single slit in it is adjustable.
Oh, okay.
Because a lot of them have only got limited adjustment.
Okay. So you could actually have it for quite some time before he'd outgrow it. Yeah. Okay. At the start, I guess when you're first finding out the diagnosis, you're sort of just coming to terms with it yourself and researching and sort of finding out where you're going to, what you need to do for your children. I don't know if it's a Kiwi thing too, you sort of don't really like asking for help. You're sort of like, no, I'm good, I've got this, it's fine, I don't need help. But finally, I thought I totally need help with this. I'm just totally lost.
You want to try this one now? We can try this one. We'll just have to put a different seat cushion on. Shall we put your one on? We'll put your one on.
I met Abby and she just introduced herself and introduced Josh to us, and Cruz met Josh, and then she found me on Facebook. So she's sort of been steering me in the right direction, where to go for funding. Everything we've sort of done with Cruz, she's already been there and done that, so she's got that much more experience than me to let me know what to do.
So what I'll do, Tammy, is I'll take measurements.
Yep.
And then I'll send them through to Leon, who will look over the photos and check out the measurements, because we've got a duty of care.
Yep.
And it's a lot of money to be spending on a chair.
Yeah.
But Sam and I have pledged that we're going to fundraise
Aww.
the money for your chair.
Thank you.
Cruz's chair.
Aww, thank you.
So
Cruz,
that
what do you
is-
say? Say thank you.
Because we know what it's like. We've been put in your situation. Joshua's first chair, we put the story out there, and within a week, we raised over
Really?
$5,000.
Wow.
So, yeah, want to pay it forward and help you.
Thank you. Now.
You can always change it.
I myself personally, we see what other people have done for ourselves, and Josh just being themselves and encouraging us to let him be himself and showing us how to do certain things, and
Yeah, so
to let Josh jump down a set of stairs, you know, like he jumps down one step at a time. He's now up to 2 steps. So now we're just trying to encourage the parents and to show the kids that they can do it. Like Josh can go down gutters now, he can jump back up a gutter. And we're just sort of trying to teach the other kids, like the younger kids, as Josh was. And that's what we're trying to tell Josh. When he was young, the older ones would help him, and now that Josh is older, we're trying to get Josh to help the younger ones, to try and help them just be the best they can be and be independent and just love life.
That's why camp came about. I'm talking about my Variety Kids sports camp that I have founded. So how this started was when Josh was little, I was talking to some of my friends in America, and they said to me, come over to our camps. I applied for a grant through the Challenged Athletes Foundation, and we got approved. So Josh was only like 5, and we went over to America. And so we were exposed to what was available and all the opportunities over there. It ignited a spark, not only with him, but within me. And I said, oh man, we shouldn't have to go to America every time we want to do something. And so we asked our friends over at Variety Children's Charity, and I said to Steve, the CEO of Variety, I want to host a sports camp for children with a physical disability. And he's like, all right, let me put it to the board, put it on paper, give me a plan, and within 24 hours, I sent it through to him, and he says, do you ever sleep? And I'm like, no. He's like, yeah, I took it to the board, and it's approved. You're over there with Dance, with Louise, and Amy. Who are you with? Darren. Dance? I wanted to expose these kids to everything Josh has been exposed to. So everything we've learned, all the people we've met, I have put together and put them into this camp.
So we're going to stop that.
We do personal training, health and nutrition, and remedial massage, because they need to learn how to look after their little bodies. Chair skills, so they're learning how to get up and down curbs, do ramps safely. They do adaptive dance. Chair maintenance, so they learn how to take care of their own chair instead of having to rely on someone else to do it. They can do it themselves.
You'll be fine.
They're doing an obstacle course, so I'm very good because I had practice for when my dad was pre-making it. For the first one, you have to try and balance and then go down. And then you do a wheelie, and then there's this stuff on the ground, so you have to do a wheelie over it.
Well, I'm hoping to get these kids out trying new sports because a lot of times they don't have the sports available in one small space. So it's nice to have all the sports in one spot for these kids to try on different equipment because a lot of them can't afford equipment, they don't know where to access coaching, they don't know where to just make friends, become independent, get some confidence up. This is the first time many of them have stayed over.
You know, you've got a kid with a disability. It's quite scary because you don't know where to look, where to turn to. It's so isolating. But once you're in there and you're in like a little group and people start talking, then your world opens up. It just makes your life a lot easier and your kid becomes way more confident.
I hope they take out of camp what Josh has taken out of camp over the years. Because every time he goes to a camp or a clinic or something, you see him just progress and learn, and he's a different kid every time. He's not the same kid leaving as he is arriving. No. He's got different skills or abilities, or he's just handling his chair slightly different. But the kids can also get together and talk to each other about their same wheelchairs, or what wheelchair they've got and what I've got, where Josh can't do that at school with his mates. It's putting the same kids together in the same place with good people and good mentors.
Through this roller coaster of a journey called life, I've always said to Josh, every year is going to be better than the last. And that was back when he was 6. So now he's 10, and every year has been better than the last. And another thing I always said to him was always say yes to every opportunity. And that's what we've done. And because we've done that, we've managed to broaden our networks and we've been able to connect people because we've taken that gamble by saying yes to all these opportunities. Yeah, I can't say I regret a thing. We're a lot tougher and more confident as parents, thanks to Josh. Never change him for the world. Even though he does always say to us, Mum, if I had one wish, it would be to be an able-bod. And I said, mate, you can't tell me that your mates at school that are able-bods have done half of what you've done in your lifetime.